Hello, this is Geometry Topic 2-4 on segments and midpoints. So let's go ahead and talk about what a midpoint is. A midpoint is when you have a segment with a point in the middle. Okay? This point is equidistant from A and C. So a point is the midpoint. If it's a point is the midpoint of a segment if it is between the two endpoints, and the distance from this endpoint to each endpoint are congruent. As we can see in the picture. Now, we can find the midpoint of a segment that is on either side of a number line or coordinate plane. Let's go ahead and just do number lines first. The formula is quite simple. It's just A plus B over 2, where A and B are the coordinates of our midpoints. So let's go ahead and just take a look. Mathematically, this would be negative 3 plus 3 divided by 2, which is 0 divided by 2, which is just 0. And we can count to double check. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This one was quite obvious. Well, now let's take a look at example number 2. It's a little more difficult. Here we have negative 3.5 plus a positive 3. Well, that gives me 0.5 over 2. And if I look at 0.5 over 2, I get 0.25. And so I come over here. And there's my midpoint. And so it's 1, 2, and 3/4. 1, 2. Hold on. Negative 0.5, negative 0.25. Always good to double check your answers. So this is 1, 2, 3 and a quarter. 1, 2, 3 and a quarter. And so negative 0.25 is in fact our midpoint. So, very simple. Always double check to make sure you didn't mess up on the negative sign like I started to. But let's go ahead and talk about two-dimensional midpoints. We have one more example here. And this is, they're giving us the midpoint. The midpoint is at 3. And A is at negative 2. We want to find B. Well, M is at 3. And A is at negative 2. So 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2. And we need to figure out where B is. Well, I went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so now I should just go over 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that tells us that 8 is our answer. However, this works really nicely because I'm dealing with small numbers, but how could I do this algebraically? And so I would say that negative 2 plus B over 2 equals 3. And then I would solve. Multiply by 2. Negative 2 plus B equals 6. Add 2. And I get that B equals 8. Either way, we get the same answer. This is algebraically, this is graphically. now let's take a look at midpoints on a coordinate plane, two-dimensional. Well, actually, this is quite easy. It's just the same thing, but we have to do it twice. x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2 gives us our new coordinates. Okay? Gives us our xm ym. So let's go ahead and put that into practice for example number 4. X1, y1, x2, y2. So negative 11 plus 8 over 2 is a negative 3 over 2 equals a negative 1.5. That's my x value. For my y value, 3 plus negative 7 over 2 equals negative 4 over 2 equals negative 2. And so there we go. Now for example number 5, x1, y1, x2, y2. This would be 3 plus 7 over 2. Negative 6 plus 2 over 2. Well, 3 plus 7 is 10 over 2. Negative 6 plus 4 is a negative 4 over 2. 10 over 2 just equals 5. Negative 4 over 2 equals a negative 2. And so there we go. Here I work them out separately to get my answer. And here I work them out together to get my answer. Use whichever method feels most comfortable for you. But what if, like for example number 3, they give us the midpoint? Well, let's have a look. Well, I know my midpoint is 3. So 0 plus my end divided by 2 equals 3. And 1 plus my other endpoint divided by 2 would equal 5. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, so 0 plus b equals 6, which means that b must equal 6. And this is bx. Now for by, 1 plus by would equal 10. So by must equal 9. And so here we are at 6, 9. Now this is one way to solve it if you like algebra like I do. You can just plug these in and solve. But here's another way that you could think about it. I'm starting at 3, negative 2. My midpoint is at 4, negative 1. And I want to know what my x and y are. Well, to go from 3 to 4, I added 1. So to go from 4 to my next one, I also add 1, and that becomes 5. From negative 2 to negative 1, I added 1. And so from negative 1 to my next one, I also need to add 1, which would put me at 0. This is another method of doing it the same thing. I'm given an endpoint and a midpoint, and I want to find out what my other endpoint is. This is solving it algebraically using the formula that I gave you earlier. This is just solving it by reason. The distance in x has to be the same on both sides, and the distance on y has to be the same on both sides. Again, either of these methods are good. You can choose whichever one works best for you. Go ahead and try both, see what you like. So this unit we just talked about midpoints and how to find them, or if we're given a midpoint, how to find the other endpoint. Good luck on your assignment and have a good day.